Yo, what's up, everybody? Andrew's back for another video about World of Warcraft, and in this one, we're going to talk about time walking, and specifically how you can abuse the heck out of the item level scaling in time walking dungeons and other time walking content. So there's this massive spreadsheet, which I'll bring up here in just a second, where you can see all sorts of different best in slot gear and where it comes from, based on a bunch of research that the, I guess, time walking community has done. I guess you got some designers over here. I'll link to this so you can go have a look. But it looks like we're actually queued up for this dungeon that we're going to get into. And yeah, so we're looking at Outlaw for my purposes, at least right now. And yeah, I guess I'm just gonna kind of talk a little bit about this while I just absolutely just demolish some time walking dungeons. So the time walking, twinking gear, whatever you want to call it, certainly favors classes that do mostly upfront damage, because time walking dungeons, if you don't know, are usually just a complete joke. And look at that, we got a 5 buff right off the bat. That's just chef's kiss. So yeah, any class like, melee, typically a lot of melee classes that have all of their damage kind of front loaded are really good, obviously. And then yeah, basically the main, like, if there's one lesson to take away from how to do time walking gear optimization, is you want to get as many sockets as possible. You'll notice I have, a socket in my offhand, socket in my belt. The best in slot boots for Rogue are the legendary crafted BOE legendary from, I said legendary too many times, from Legion, that just has 3 sockets. The effect, I'm pretty sure, doesn't actually trigger in time walking, just because most previous expansion features are, disabled for time walking purposes. But yeah, again, it's just simply because you have access to 3 sockets there. That's what makes it so good. And yeah, you also notice I have all these 3 agility gems. They scale, the gems scale as well, so everything's scaled down to 3 agility. But yeah, the Queen's Garnet are primary stat gems from Cataclysm. So and then the other big thing that's, I guess, the second biggest deal is the Heart of Azeroth from Battle for Azeroth, of course, which still works. So, like I mentioned just a moment ago, most expansion features are disabled, but Heart of Azeroth and this, what do they call this, Azerite gear, I guess, is not disabled. So you can go find the exact perfect statted, powered up nonsense Azerite gear that you want and use that. So I've got 3 pieces of gear, a couple from Ny'alotha, one from Battle for Desire Lore, that have, I think it's this Brigand's Blitz thing that does the most damage, whatever. It's like an adrenaline rush haste buff. And it's got all perfect tertiaries and secondaries as well, because scaling and time walking, everything goes down to a certain level, so you don't actually care about eye level past a certain point, which all BFA gear is going to be good enough for these dungeons. So yeah, you just find the perfectly statted stuff. That's what the spreadsheet's for, that I mentioned earlier. I don't know how comprehensive it is for all different classes. And I would definitely, recommend, if you want to get really, really, really serious into this, doing a little bit of, searching on your own as well for maybe some better stuff. But it is an excellent place to start. And, like I said, I don't have all optimal stuff. I don't have, I only have 1 of the recommended stat string trinkets. I'm still rocking just some random pieces of gear from my wrists. These are just the wrists that I use. Actually, I guess technically they're not, because I did upgrade to a different set of wrists for my normal gear, but that's beside the point. But yeah, there's also little things for Rogue, allegedly. So I actually, this is something I need to look into still. The Rogue Outlaw Timewalking spreadsheet heavily favors haste, which, if I'm not mistaken, haste is not what you want in normal Outlaw Rogue dungeon doing. So that's a little weird, but for Timewalking, it's apparently a big deal. So we have like this fist weapon from Molten Core that has a haste proc. And I think as many of the socketed pieces that we have are also, they're trying to like prioritize haste on them as well. Oh my goodness. Dude, I'm getting it wrecked in here. This is like, this is something. Anyway, so that's kind of the basic rundown. Oh yeah, we have like these random crafted rings that have like the secondary stat procs. This is like a Shadowlands crafted piece that you need. So you need to have. No, I think this one's just you just have the ability to do it. Oh my gosh, damage reflect on this guy. Anyway, I was able to craft these rings. You know, this actually happens to be my jewel crafter as well, so I just did it on this character. Yeah, but that's kind of the basic rundown on like what you're gonna do for time walk thinking. So yeah, it's pretty cool. There are, at least right now on the spreadsheet, a number of... I just realized I didn't pick up the quest, so that's not great. There's a number of tier pet sets that are recommended for, like, from current tier. Actually, I guess technically... I think the Rogue Outlaw one recommends the tier set from the previous tier in Dragonflight, but that's kind of beside the point, right? You just want like bonuses that are going to do good. I kind of wonder. Oh my gosh, the NPC's talking in my ear, or just something else. Yeah, these are all the current tier set. I mean, I have the old tier in my bank if I want to go check that out at some point, but yeah, let's take just a quick look here at stuff. So pistol shot actually happened to be on most here. I think this is mostly a result of this dungeon being kind of spread out and not a whole lot of places for Blade Flurry to really shine. Yeah, or just, you know, using it properly while talking a bunch. And then, yeah, you saw me using this Blood of the Enemy thing. This is a Heart of the Azeroth. The ability just does a bunch of AoE, and that's a crit buff for the duration of it being on the target. Usually Blade Flurry is like just absolutely top damage, but again, this is kind of a weird instance. So yeah, I'll link to this in the description, and you can go have a look for yourself. One last point I will make about the spreadsheets is always check down below. So some recommendations for talents and consumables if you want to go really ham. But more importantly, if we pull up the Druid sheets, this is an example. Some of the classes have this, some of them don't. It just depends on the class. But if we look at balance, you'll see there's this whole text here about playstyle. And that's because, you know, certain things are more optimal or less optimal in time walking versus what you would normally do in a, you know, like a regular BFA dungeon or like a regular Dragonflight dungeon. So yeah, check this place out, because for Druid, right, like I mentioned earlier on in the video, that having upfront damage is kind of what you want for time walking since everything dies so quickly. If you know anything about boomkins, you need a lot of ramp up time to really start doing tons of damage. So the notes here in this playstyle section for boomkin are don't play like you normally would, use this other talent build, and basically put your Sunfire, which is the dot that just spreads super easily, and then just run. Just keep pulling as many things as possible and use all of your astral power on Starfall, which is the giant AoE circle you see from Boomkin. So you effectively turn into like this ranged kite tank where you're just trying to pull as much stuff as possible in front of you and just keep moving, and stuff just kind of like rots down while you're kiting. And that's super cool. In fact, we're gonna pop over there and give that a shot here in a moment. So the point being, you know, you want to check the descriptions down here. I think the Ret Paladin one has some notes as well. I know the Priest one definitely, Shadow Priest one definitely does, because Shadow is another situation where it's a dot class, right? So you want to take special care for doing certain stuff. Although I think the Shadow Priest one is mostly just a rant about how they got rid of Mind Seer, so Shadow now just sucks. So here's some talent builds for Rhett. And yeah, so that's kind of the little high-level introduction into how to be twinking for Timewalking. So see, you've got like other sheets here for like Raid. I don't really know what the difference is for Raid. Maybe it's like a different... I guess we're looking at Assassination. If we were looking for Outlaw Raid, I don't know like what's really going to be different here. Armored Elk Tusk. Oh, another thing to mention, a lot of these items require you to not be max level so that you can abuse curly time in order to like get the right statted gear at the right eye level. If you want to go super duper duper hard, you have to kind of like plan this out from the very beginning and then like do some crazy shenanigans. They've got some guides in here somewhere, I'm pretty sure, about how to do it. I don't know. I'm sure you could look into some of these links, and if you really want to do the crazy stuff. Although, and again, like there's some mop legendary stuff that, again, nobody has access to that anymore unless you've got it already. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to look into here. It's kind of neat. But also, like, you can get a whole ton of information and value out of just simply doing like some bare minimums, like just checking to see, like, or like equipping your Heart of Azeroth, for example. If you play during BFA, like you probably have some decent stuff there. Maybe you've even got some Azerite gear sitting in the bank still that might be relevant. Now, and that said, right, like it's pretty easy to actually go get some more Heart of Azeroth gear. You can just do Nihilith LFR. You can do, I don't know what other. There's like I mentioned on the Outlaw one, this Bomber's Jacket is from Battle for Dazar'alor. It's literally the first boss in that wing. I think it took me like 3 weeks of killing it for it to drop. So, and, you know, it takes a little while. You gotta kind of prep for it. But, you know, it gives you a little extra power boost. And then it's got recommendations, too, for, like, what essences to use. And, yeah. Oh, for Druid, actually, okay, so we need to do a little bit of prep work here. We got to swap over to Balance. And there's a different spec that's recommended. I didn't really look into this too much, but I'm just going to swap to it. I assume that it's got some, like, stuff that's a little more geared towards just kiting and whatnot. So yeah, and then I'm going to, I think, do I have any passive like DPS drink? Yeah, we're just gonna use the scale. It's fine. Yeah, my Druid doesn't have a whole lot in the way of Timewalking gear because I just haven't really looked into it too much. Although I'm pretty sure we've got Heart of Azeroth. Yeah, and the Heart of Azeroth cloak is also another good one. Do I just not have one? There ain't no way. Huh. Weird. Alright, so yeah, here's the strat. We're going to press this button, and then we're going to just spread our dots, and go. And go. Obviously, like, if you know... Sunfire is the only really important dot, so you can just kind of focus on doing that. I'm just going to straight up hold the boss. Yeah, look at this. The damage is just stupid. Who's our priests? What's going on? Okay. Yeah, there is some concern about being the tank, and so I think this would work best in a organized group where you can be like, hey guys, I'm probably going to take all the aggro, so like don't freak out. And that seems like it would be a good thing to do to kind of warn people, because like, I don't know if you've ever tanked and had somebody else pulling for you, but it's the most aggravating thing in the world. So I fully acknowledge that and realize that this tank probably hates me right now. But I don't care, because this is what I'm doing. And it's hilarious. I mean, look at this. You just literally just... Yeah, Starfall and Sunfire doing all the damage. You just keep running, and you just press your buttons. And one nice thing, especially with balance, is that, you know, you've got that thing where it procs... what is it? Yeah, you get instant cast Starfalls when you get hit by melees or whatever. It's like a PvP thing. But yeah, it turns out when you're Boomkin tanking, you get hit a lot, so you just sometimes get random Starfalls that are also very good, obviously. This is, you know, you get another AoE ability. I guess I want to be... I can do a little bit of min-maxing here and use the buttons properly. We're getting achievements all over the place. Yeah. So, again, like, I never would have, like, had this, like, okay, I'm sure if I had sat down and actually thought about it, I probably would have figured out, like, oh, yeah, because Boomkin and, like, doing this makes sense. But, yeah, sitting down and actually reading the, stuff obviously goes a long way to just kind of demystifying some of the optimal stuff you can do. Oh no, I'm banished! Ah, that's not good. No, feared! What is this? Can't do damage while I'm feared. Okay, yeah, then obviously whenever you have Incarn up, that's when you really start pumping. I'm gonna save it for the next room, because we don't particularly need it for a boss. In fact, I even got my little mini Incarn. Yeah. Cool, so yeah, that's kind of the spiel, I guess. We'll finish out this run, and hopefully y'all can have some fun doing time walking. Twinking. I think that's what they call it. What is the, what do they call it on the spreadsheet, actually? This time walking gearing and class guide, I guess? Okay, it's kind of boring, but sure. A little more, accurate? I don't know. I don't actually know where that word comes from. What's the etymology of the word twink in reference to making a character in a video game that is just, like, over-geared, but not, like, at a low power level? Wow. Okay, but yeah, this room is no freaking joke, by the way. So maybe I do actually... No. Okay, maybe we do. Maybe I just don't have a choice, and... I mean, look. I popped Incarn, so we kind of got to do something, right? I do like the... What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the inclusion of Warrior of Elune. So, if you don't know, Balanced Druid has two main builders of Sunfire and Starfire. Sunfire is just a single target ability, short cast time, does damage, and then Starfire is a longer cast time but larger damage, and has a very, very small AoE. I think it's like literally like 3 yards. 10 yards, okay. A little more than I thought. But that's beside the point. Point is that Warrior of Elune is an ability that makes your next 3 Starfire. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Your next 3 Starfires instant cast, which is obviously pretty big because, you know, it's usually like a pretty long cast time, and when they're instant cast, it's just boom, boom, boom. And then, you know, the whole point of this silly time walking build is to be moving constantly so that you finish the dungeon faster. So yeah, having 3 more instant cast buttons to press every minute obviously goes a long way for that. Oh, we got the power infusion. Alright, well, we'll just press some rats and call it good. Obviously, these single target bosses, it's a little more like what you would normally do. as a druid in a normal dungeon. There you go. Easy peasy. Once again, I think I forgot to pick up the 5 weekly quests, so that's fun. But that's alright, because honestly, like, just being able to do these dungeons a bunch is kind of sort of the point. I mean, I don't know, it's just fun. So, anyway, that's my little 20-minute video about time walking and how to do a lot of damage in time walking. So get out there and farm some old content and have some fun. Yeah, one last thing, and then I promise I'll stop talking. Another nice benefit of doing this is you get an excuse to go visit some old stuff. Like, you know, here's Black Temple. I'm not doing Nomer because that's a Chromie thing, but Ulduar, some BFA raids, Magister's Terrace, you know. Molten Core, all-time favorite for me. Sunwell Plateau, so just a cool little reason to get out in the world and see some old content. So, all right, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, then go do it. Okay, bye.